Python is a popular programming language among data professionals, data science, and data analytics experts. So companies all over the world use Python to harvest insight from their data sets and gain a competitive advantage above their competitors. So welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Excel Island, where the goal and objective is to learn and master Python over the next 100 days. Today is day 14. We've covered one course out of the 9 courses on the career track. So we are actually on the second course, about to complete the second course, which actually contains 4 chapters and 1 project. So we've covered 2 courses so far out of 9 courses. We are going to start our first project using all the concepts we've learned so far. So we'll be doing that in this next or couple of live stream after this live, probably the next live stream or the second or live stream after this actual or live stream learning journey. So welcome back to the channel. So also all the CSV files in the Python data sets that we'll be using and continue to be using is already linked under the YouTube description, or the YouTube link in the YouTube description. So do make sure to download those files and practice along with me. So without further ado, welcome back to day 14 and let's jump back to learning. So I'll just walk you through what we've done so far. So we're actually using the DataCamp platform. I'm actually subscribed to a 1 year subscription on the platform. So I'm trying to make use of the platform in a fun and interesting way to learn. Learning highly technical skills could be daunting and really, really boring and challenging. You get it now. So if I go to the career track section real quick. By the way, my name is Sheriff. So I'm from Nigeria. I'm a top rated plus freelance data analyst on the Upwork platform. So I'm always looking to upskill myself, learn new technologies, and achieve more success as a freelancer and a remote worker. So basically, I work all the way from home. And this is my this is my second year being a full-time freelancer. By the end of this year, by December, it will be 2 years I've become a full-time freelancer, trying to manage my freelance business from home. So it has been an interesting journey. Probably I'll make videos about that and share from my experience, knowledge, uh, failure, or the failure part, which we call the nose, the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of becoming working from home full time. Do you get it now? So if I go to the Python parts, you see, when the fun way of learning started, it really started with SQL, career track, then we moved to Power BI. So I've completed SQL and Power BI. Those are the part of the skills I was looking to upskill myself in this year, and I'll be able to achieve that so far. So this is the third tool I want to upskill myself for this year. So by the next couple of 1 month, 2 months, I'll start building quite a lot of projects against the year 2025, just to have some new roles, looking towards some new roles and new career actually in data analytics. So I click on data analyst with Python real quick. So in our previous live stream, we actually focused on loops, which is while loops and for loops in Python. So an interesting learning journey that was. So you can catch that on day 13 live stream. You can see we've completed introduction to Python. We actually all got introduced to Python basics like data type variables, Python lists, function and packages, and we worked with our first package, which is the NumPy package. So on intermediate Python, we covered matplotlib, dictionaries and pandas, logic control flow, and filtering. Those are the if, elif, and else statements. Then we're actually on loops. So after this loop section, we're going to be using all what we've learned so far in a case study, which is the ACA statistics case study. I look forward to seeing you on this project. So if I click on view course real quick, you can see for this loop, you can see the content is quite much. So I decided to break it down into 2 or 3 live stream. So on this live stream, just look at, we've covered on loops, while loops, and for loop, and what it is and how to make use of it. So in this live stream, we want to implement those knowledge or try out for loop and while loop on actual data sets like data structure over a dictionary, over a numpy array, and use it in a real world scenario. How to use while loops, for loops, and loops in general in a real world scenario. That's what we're doing on this live stream. So let's continue from there. All right, so welcome back. We may just decide to watch, okay, loops data structure. So this is a video, probably a refresher of what we've learned so far. Okay, let's continue this chapter. I do want to support the channel by giving these live streams a thumbs up, share the live stream so that others can learn Python with us, and subscribe and put on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live or drop a new content. So on a couple of live stream ago, 3 days ago, and that was last time I was probably working on some projects behind. So I make sure to show up every day, but when I have some highly important things, not urgent but important things, so I tend to take a break for a day or two, then we are back here, which gives you opportunity to catch up on the live stream. So we've covered basic for loop using enumerator and looping over lists and adjusting indexes and outputs. So you can watch all of this on day 13, what we've covered here. So let's continue this.
So, you already saw how looping over lists and strings works. But what about those other data structures, such as dictionaries and NumPy arrays? Well, in both cases, you can use a similar for loop construct, but the way you define the sequence over which you're iterating will differ depending on the data structure. Let's go back to our world dictionary, containing country names as keys and corresponding populations as values, shown here. How should we approach this if we want to print out the key and corresponding value for each key value pair on a new line? Maybe like this, simply hoping that the key and value are correctly set? Oh, unfortunately, we get an error. Python sees that you expect two values in every iteration, like enumerate did before when you wanted the index and value from a list element. But in this case, Python has no idea about how to go about this. We can fix this by calling the method items on world. This will generate a key and value in each iteration. If you have a look at the printout, there's something strange. Afghanistan comes first in world, but not in the printout. That's because dictionaries are inherently unordered. The order in which they're iterated over is not fixed, at least not in Python 3.5. The names key and value are totally arbitrary, by the way. I can also call these K and V, like here. The order does matter though. The first variable gets the key, the second, the value. Now for the NumPy array, that data science equivalent of the Python list I've been talking about quite a bit. Let's start from the BMI array that you already know. Here it is. It's pretty straightforward. The most basic for loop you can imagine already does the trick. Let's see if this also works with a 2D NumPy array. Here I created MES by combining the NP height and NP weight arrays. If we want to print out each element in this 2D array separately, the same basic for loop won't do the trick though. The 2D array is actually built up from an array of 1D arrays. The for loop simply prints out an entire array on each iteration. To get every element of an array, you can use a NumPy function called nditer. The input is the array you want to iterate over, MES in our case. This time we get 10 printouts. First, all the heights, then all the weights. Nice! To recap, if you want to iterate over key value pairs in a dictionary, use the items method on the dictionary to define the sequence in the for loop. If you want to iterate over all elements in a NumPy array, you should use the nditer function to specify the sequence. Pay attention here. Dictionaries require a method. NumPy arrays use a function. Before you get confused, head over to some exercises and enhance your looping skills.
So now let's put this into practice and see how it looks like. But before I continue, I need to launch my Anaconda Navigator. But I forgot to launch that. So I can have access, open up my Jupyter Notebook environment for practice. So I always prefer to practice on the platform and also on my local machine here. Okay, so I just launch my Jupyter notebook. So to download this, go and watch day one of the live stream on how to access Anaconda Navigator. So while that is coming up, I'll just so we're on intermediate Python. We're on loops in Python. So I have the notebook open there. So loops in Python. So this was when we started the loop, while loop. We also covered these are just basic while loop, how to set up a while loop. Then this is some for loop. For loop started from here. You can see. So we did a lot of for loop. This was all we did on day 13. So let's continue building up our knowledge from here. It's a loop over dictionary. It's in Python 3. You need the items method to loop over a dictionary. So we have a word. We have the variable word, which equals to a dictionary, which is dictionary is a key pair value. This is a key, just like column 1, column 2 record, just like having a record in column A and another record in column B in an Excel environment. So I want you to picture that. So this is Afghanistan. This is the value for Afghanistan. Another record or observation. Yes, so this is a record. So this Afghanistan and the value is an observation. So these two different record here. So for key value in word items, print key plus or space bar plus string value. Okay. Remember the Europe dictionary that contained the names of some European countries as a key and their capital as corresponding value. Go ahead and write a loop to iterate over it. So what loop does is that it prints out the record in each in each key pair value. You get it now. So I'm going to use this for key. So let's try this out in my Jupyter notebook first. So I'll just copy this. So if I open it, let's create a new for loop. So we are looping over dictionary this time around. I'll just write dictionary or loop over dictionary. Loop over dictionary. I'll make it a markdown. And let us just run the code. Let me paste the code here. So we have a variable where in a dictionary, so for key value in word dot items, just let's print it out. So it's simply this is what we are just doing. We're just printing out Afghanistan and the corresponding value. Then we use this double dash to separate it, just like separating two different columns from each other. Now let's create same knowledge in this. Is it write a for loop that goes to each key value pair of Europe. On each iteration, the capital of X is Y should be printed out where X is the key and Y is the value of the pair. So we want to print out this word, the capital of X, which is the key, is Y, which is the value. So let's write it live. So I'm going to write for key value in Europe items. So I want to use Europe dot items, open bracket, close brackets. Then we use a colon there. Print, we want to print, so I want to print. So I'm going to print the key. It's going to print the key plus, so we want to print, no, we're not even actually printing we are printing the capital of X. So I want to print that keyword out. So it's going to be like this. The capital of, so I'm going to leave a space there, then jump here and say plus key. So that is the key. So another is space there. And the string is, I want to convert the value. So we don't even need to convert the value here to a string, because it is actually a string here. But let me see it in action first. Let me just, what if I just type it out as value? Let's see value. So let's say it like this in action first. If you're going to get any error, I'll just copy this and let me test it out in my Jupyter notebook here. If I will get any error, invalid syntax, you forgot a comma. Why am I missing a comma? Oh, I forgot. I've seen my mistake here. The capital of key is, I just have a plus there. Plus. Now let's run it again. Oh, I'm still getting the error. So let's run it in this interface here. The capital of key, okay, plus, then plus here. Okay, now let's run the code here and see. You see my mistake there. So I'm missing a plus here after key to join those keywords together. Aha, you can see the capital of Spain is, okay, there's no space here. There's supposed to be a space here. Let me see. Now let's run the code again. Right, the capital of Spain is Madrid, the capital of France. So it is just, the loop is just iterating through each of the dictionary and returning this value for us. Now let's make it better right here. Let's be a space here. This is better. Let's submit. Voila. So we nailed it there. So that's how to loop through a dictionary. Pretty straightforward there. Now let's loop over a numpy array. Loop over a numpy array. So let's loop over a dictionary. So let's loop over a numpy array. Let's have to do that in numpy. I think we're going to use a function in this case for a numpy array. Let me make it a markdown. This is just a way for me to document my knowledge so I can always come back to it in case I face a couple of challenges or why using it in a real world scenario. And you have to comment out to have a good understanding of what the code does when you come back to it. Okay, so if you are dealing with a 1D numpy array, looping over all elements can be as simple as for x in my array. So if it is a 1D numpy array, so by numpy array, just a straightforward or list, just an array, probably one column of record. If you are dealing with a 2D numpy array, it is more complicated. A 2D array is built up of multiple 1D arrays. To explicitly iterate over all separate elements of a multiple dimensional array, you will need this syntax. So we're going to use a function in short. We're going to use this function. Then my array point to the array. It's as simple as that. Sorry about that. So Two numpy arrays that you may recognize from the intro course are available in your Python session, mp.height and mp_baseball. So mp.height is a numpy array containing height of Major League Baseball players, and mp_baseball, a 2D numpy array that contains both the heights first column and weights second column of those players. Okay. Ooh, so let's see how we can use this in action. So we have a 2D numpy array containing both heights and weights, while np height only contains the height of Major League Baseball players. Okay, let me see if I can work with this data here. Oh, let me see, where can I get it? Let me see if I can get those numpy array from the introductory course. Let me see if I still have it here. I see so it is actually a baseball. We have it here. I'm thinking of how I can bring it over to this my new. You can see the heights here. Oh, we have the heights here, the weights here for our baseball record. I was hoping there's a way for me to connect to it back here. I'll probably just jot down to do from here. But the challenge is I don't have the file already present here. Do I have the files here? Oh, I don't have the file here. But I can copy the file back here. Okay, let me see. This baseball file. Let me see if I can get it to this folder. Baseball. I don't have baseball here. Okay, let me quickly do that from my local machine here. Data sets. The baseball data sets. Okay, I should have it here by now. Where is it? You can see it here. I just copy it there right now, sure. But let's see, that's by the way though. So I can actually point to the data set using this trick here, MLB PD baseball. Let me see if I can get it over there. I want to read it in this my new file. This I have it in the directory here of where this my loops Python file is present. I could just read it really quick here. I have NumPy imported already. I have pandas. Let me just run all this line of code one more time. I just need to run that first line of code. Now if I say mp.read, it should read it. If I call on the MLB file now, you can see we have the heights. You can see the heights. So this is the record they're actually referring to. The height and weights. So all I need to do is make use of this heights and weights record. Let me see that again from it says in 2D numpy, but it was created as a 2D numpy. If there's a way I can use it as a 1D numpy array, it will have been better. But let's see though. Let's continue from here. Now let's see it in action though. So import the numpy package under the local alias np. I'm going to say import numpy as NP. For loop over NP heights. For loop over NP baseball. Okay. Let me see. Let me see that. NP heights. So I want to make use of this heights column only. I'm going to give it a shot. MLB.head, MLB.heights. We have the heights record here. So let me call on the heights, and I'm going to turn it into an array. Let's see. You can see this. So I just call on the heights column only from here. So from there, I could turn it to an np.array mlb.high. I turn it to an array of data. Let's see that in action. Aha, I can see the record height 74, 74, 72, 72, 73, 74, 74, 72, all the way till the last one, just over 1,000 record. Okay, I think we are getting there. Okay, so we have it there. Let's make use of that for this challenge. Let me go back to, it says for loop over np heights. So heights, np heights. So this is just a single height, easy. These are a single. So let's do for. This is a single, a 1D number. I'm going to say for value in np heights, np heights. Okay, let's see. For np heights, let's just use it like that and see if you are going to get it. So we're going to say print value. So print value. Let's just say print value. Let's run this line of code. Let me just like this and run this first. Ooh, I get an error. Import numpy. Ooh, why am I getting error from my import numpy? Oh, okay. Let me just correct this. Oh, my import is starting with a capital letter I rather than a small letter I. You can see that. Now let's run the code again. You can see now I just printed out the height. You can see pretty straightforward. I just printed out the height record in each line of code. Or let's see. The record is quite much. For loop over np print value. So let me do the same thing for this my Jupyter notebook here. So I want to say, let me just for loop over np heights. I'll just copy this. So now let's np-array. So I'm going to say paste it here. So instead of np heights, mine is going to be np.array. But normally I'm supposed to name this np.height. Okay, let me name this as equal np underscore heights as a variable equals to this. Let me run it again. Oh, so if I now call on my, let me add a code cell above. If I call on np heights, we should still get the same record. Let's call on the np heights. You can see same array, so it makes it easy like that. You could see, so I just get the record back. Pretty straightforward. There's that's a for loop over an array. But this is a 1D numpy array. My 2D numpy array knowledge is not that pretty strong, but I understand how a 2D numpy array works. But I'll probably also go back to the 2D numpy array knowledge. So that's how to for loop over a 1D numpy array. For loop over NP height, 1D, 1D, numpy. Just up, just open that comment. Numpy array. You can see that. Pretty straightforward there. Let's do for the 2D numpy array here. So for loop over NP baseball. So in this case, we are going to make use of, so now our NP baseball here. So write for a loop that visits every element in the NP baseball array and prints it out. For our NP baseball, it is a 2D numpy array that contains both height first column and weight second column. Do I have height and first column record here? Height and weights. Let me see. I have the heights and weights here also as a 2D numpy array. The question, how do I make it a 2D numpy array? Okay, now let's make it, let's try it here. I'm going to try it here also. Let's call it MP. Let's call on it MLB. Instead of height is going to be weight now. Let's give this a shot. MLB we can see. And let's convert it into an array. Control C there. So instead of heights, I'm going to call it weights. Weights there. So NP underscore. So the knowledge of NumPy, we've covered it from the introduction part of the course. You can see we have two arrays now. Let me just call on both of them. So I think what they did was to name both as NP baseball. NP baseball contains 2D numpy array. So the question is, how do I create 2D numpy array from a single array? Let's see. Oh, okay, I think I've seen that 2D numpy array. We can create a we could actually create a 2D numpy array by combining the height and weight array together. So let me do it right now. So it's going to be, let's call this 2D numpy array. It's going to be a combination of np dot array. That should be a dot. Open bracket, close the bracket, then a square bracket. I'm going to point to my np heights. Let's see. np heights here. np heights. np heights, comma, np weights. Now if you run this code, let's see. Ooh, it's an invalid decimal literal. Let's see. Two numpy. Let me just say two numpy array. Let's see if that's going to work. Oh, okay. Let me use 2 then. Number 2. Better. So it works like that. So there's a way that you can name your variable anyhow. 2 numpy array. Let's see. I can see. So we have two. I've learned how to. I will just refresh my memory of how to create a two. So we have 2D numpy array that we can use for this challenge also, or from our end here. So to loop over a 2D numpy array, you're actually going to be using a what? A function. You won't use the normal for loop or syntax or scenario. So you just how we could create two numpy. So if you want to create 3 numpy array, so this is how you create it. 3D numpy array, 4D. So what do I mean by 2D? Just what you can see two rows of data here. Now let's go back here and say for loop over a NP baseball. So that should be, so if you use the old method, if you use this method, we are going to get an error. Let's use it first. So it's going to print it out wrongly. I'm just curious what that will look like. Let's give it a shot. So this is for val in NP 2 numpy array. Let's see it in action. 2 numpy array, print val, let's see it. That it is printing it back to us as an array, as like this, not the way it printed out this from up down the rows. So we want it to print it down the rows, not printing it back for us as an array. So that's why I can use this method. It has to use what is called the np ndata. So let's say for val in np, so we're going to point to this array, open brackets, close brackets. We're going to use the function np dot ndata print val. Let's see it now. You can see, voila, there is print. It joins the two arrays together and just print it out for us there. So let me just copy this record here, this code here, and make use of it in my Jupyter for loop over the NP baseball. So instead of mine to be NP 2D, I'm going to point to the NP baseball. And let's run the code. You can see, because now we have our record now, because it's just way too long to see at once. But it is the same thing that like we did. So for loop over, write a for loop that visit every element in the NP baseball array and print it out. So we just did that in our own way. Why? Okay, I have to use their keyword here. Right, for x inches, so I have to use print x inches here. Write a folder, iterate over all elements in np, right, and print out x inches for each element, where x is the value in the array. So once for x, so I want it to be x, print out x, but they have the keyword. Okay, so that should be x plus the keyword. Okay, let me see. I think they want the keyword inches there. Inches. Let's run the code again. Oh, okay, let me see the error. I have to convert it to a string. Oh, so since I'm attaching a string to it, I have to convert this one to a string also. Understood. So if you scroll back up to this part of the code, you should see the keyword. You can see inches mentioned. I see there was 74 inches, 74 inches. So I could just do the same thing. Okay, let's submit the code and see if voila. So that's what they actually want us to do. So let me now do it better here in Jupyter notebook. So you could see it better in action. I'll just go back up to this part of the code here, this part here. So instead of string, I'll just point my own. Okay, let me just change something to x to make it easy. Now see, we just attach 74 inches. We just attach this word inches to it, so it print it out as a word like that. Interesting. As a sentence rather. Let's continue. Ooh, so that was kind of intense, looping through. So we just learned how to loop through dictionaries, one D numpy 2D numpy, and I also showed how to create a 2D numpy array from 1D numpy array. That's quite interesting, right? Give me a thumbs up for that now. I just thought it's something special. I hope I explained better with with visual example. Now let's see if you can complete this part of the course. We have one more challenge to go. Okay, loop data structure part 2. Looping over a data frame. Let's see, we are just 40 minutes into the live stream. Looping over data frame 1, looping over data frame 2, add column, add column. Now I want to learn how to loop over a data frame. I think we should just do this on day 15. So if we could just take a break here and come learn how to loop over data frame. Loop over data frame. Then these are the two examples, and before I actually jump to our case study, ACA statistics, they are going to actually walk us through random numbers. So this couple of challenge for the case study. Oh, that's interesting. So this is like 40 minutes. I think if you try to solve this challenge also, it's probably going to take like another 40 minutes also. So I always want my live stream to be 45 minutes, 1 hour of learning, so we can have enough time to practice also. All right, so we're going to stop here for today. That'll be the end of the live stream for today. So we continue from here on day 15, which is tomorrow. I'll see you on day 15 as we learn to loop over data structures. That should be data Excel files, probably in Python. Definitely. All right, so thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. So if you found value in this learning journey with me, do well to support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and put on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live or drop a new content on the channel. As usual, do have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you on day 15. Bye bye. Do well to subscribe right now. Yeah, hit that subscribe button right now and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next live stream. If you are new, try to catch up from day 1 of Python learning journey. That will make it easier for you to understand 2D number array, dictionaries, lists, pandas, data frame, and so many other stuff we've covered so far. All right. Once again, I'll see you in the next video. Go watch the next video.